There you go. All right. It's going to be a very close-knit group here, which is okay. First of all, welcome everyone to PHP Benelux Meetup for September. We have only one speaker, and I'm very excited to have her talking about WordPress through the terminal. Finally, I get to see wp-cli live. I've been dying to see this happening for quite some time, so I'm very happy to finally get my dreams fulfilled. After this session, we will have some closing notes and, of course, our raffle. That's why most people are also joining. And for those who want, there's an open discussion breakout session after this where everyone can just speak and chat with each other, talk about PHP and all those things. First, a little introduction of PHP Benelux. We're a community that has a lot of user groups, local user groups in Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, and we help them facilitate in their operations. So thank you, Milana, for coming on a very short notice, and I am very happy to have you here. So I'm very excited to see your presentation in a few minutes. Of course, this event was not possible without our sponsors. So thank you, Spatie, Interacto, Into IT. Spatie will be raffling a new training that they have. It's testing Laravel with PEST and PHP unit. So if you're into testing and you work with Laravel, stay tuned because it's going to be a very exciting moment for you. Interacto, we're raffling the pink and blue elephants, of course, and we thank Interacto for stepping up as a sponsor this month. Before I forgot to put the slide in, but we also have two new additions, generously sponsored by Mark Baker, a community member. Most of you all know. He was so generous to send me a box of these, and they will be raffled also. So stay tuned. Maybe you get either the Italian or the Canadian one. It's going to be awesome. We also want to thank Into IT, who's providing the logistics, making this all possible, and is responsible for shipping all the goodies to the winners. So that's a very, very important task, if I say so. So with no further ado, Milana, I give you the floor. What I will do is I give you the whole presentation, and I will collect all the questions afterwards so you can focus on your presentation. I don't have to interrupt you. And if there are remarks, I will pop in and just interrupt you shortly for some feedback. But otherwise, we will keep the questions later because then I can also present them on the screen.
Okay, yeah. If you want to interrupt, it's not a problem. So.
Okay. Well, then okay. I suggest take it away, and I will be taking notes.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
So, thank you. So thank you for having me. I'm very happy to talk about WordPress at PHP communities. So I'm happy that you're interested. And today we will be talking about wp-cli. So that's a command line interface for WordPress. And why would you use it when we already have enough command line interfaces and tools? Well, the way I see it, there are 4 levels of using wp-cli. So the first level would be everything you can do in WordPress dashboard, clean install, no additional plugins, you can do with wp-cli, and that would be something like Guilfoyle level. The next level would be, in order to do some things in dashboard, you need to install plugins, for example, to list cron events or export and import database. Well, with wp-cli, you can do all that without those additional plugins. So you can just run it on clean install. And if you include here command search replace, all those migrations and cloning is done just in minutes. So that would be Pied Piper level. Now, there are some things that you can do with wp-cli that there is no plugin created for yet. For example, you can export just parts of content. I have a client with a website with large database. There are like tens of thousands of posts, and I don't know how many custom post types and users and theme options, settings, but all I needed was last 6 months of published posts, because I was working on some small thing on article template. And with wp-cli, I was able to do this with just one command. With, you can specify start date, end date, post type not in when you need all but, starting ID if you know what ID it is, or author, and many other things. So that was like really fast, doing something I don't know how would I do in some different way. Also, there is one command that I really, really love. It's scaffold. And with this one, you can scaffold themes and plugins and blocks, and we will see it later in action. And for this command, I would create plugin every day just to run it, because I'm so amazed how great it is. So this level would be Neo level. And the last level is with wp-cli, you can create custom wp-cli commands. And some smart hosting companies and plugin authors are already doing this for years. And it's so refreshing when you go to hosting and you see not only that they have wp-cli, which is already great, but they have their own services in command. So everything is just a breeze. So that's really, really awesome. And that level would be Mr. Robot level. So now that you know why would you use it, you want to know how to use it, right? Well, I don't have any computer or server without it, so I cannot really show you how to install it. But there is a good documentation, and what you need is really just 3.5 commands. So we will see it here. Okay, so first thing you do is you download the wp-cli archive, and it's working already. So you can check it with this have command, and it is working. But you don't want to type php wp-cli every time you want to run command. So what you want to do, you want to make it executable, and then move it to a place from where you can execute it, which is somewhere in your path. You can call it whatever you want. WP is quite common. And then you can do just this, WP info. And you see the info on your server and wp-cli version. Now, I'm running PHP 7.4, and there's a good reason for that. Do not judge me. So the previous version of wp-cli 2.4 was breaking under PHP 8. And I'm using wp-cli for work every day, and I work with WordPress, so PHP 8 wasn't really like necessary for me. So I downgraded my PHP to 7.4. Meanwhile, these problems were addressed in wp-cli version 2.5, so it should work with PHP 8. I just didn't have a time to test it. And now we can start using it. So every command is very simple. It's trying to do just one job, and it's trying to be consistent in its anatomy. So what you have is WP, then you have noun, which is entity you want to work with. Then you have verb, which represents what you want to do with this entity. And many commands have subcommands like list and create, add, delete, remove. So it is pretty much consistent when wherever is possible. And after that, you have flags. So with every subcommand and command, you have a help flag available. You can see what parameters, what subcommands are available there. You can see examples, how to use command. And on top of that, you have some global parameters. We will see a few of them today. My favorite is prompt. It's just blowing mind how it makes everything easier. And now we have the basics, so we can start. I would like to show you today how you can use Wp-cli to make your administration faster, development faster, also to make WordPress more secure. Yeah, I know about that. So let's say you got an email from an old client and they say they cannot access their login URL, and they try WP admin and login and nothing works. It just keeps sending them to 404 page. And this is because you were smart and you changed the login URL so that you increased website security, and you advised your client to do that again so that even you don't know it. And for the sake of the example, let's pretend they did. They changed it. And now no one in the world knows the login URL. You have two options. You can search through database if you have access, which is boring. Or you can run one wp-cli command, because we live in perfect world where every server has wp-cli available and you have SSH access to it. So you choose the second option, and I completely agree. We can go and SSH there. So we do this. And yeah, we can do this. And we can go to the remote where I have my wp-cli. But doing it this way, I have to memorize that port number and username and domain name, and I hate memorizing those things. As soon as I memorize one of those things, I just forget something very important. And with Wp-cli, I don't have to. I can use alias, and I can use it for every website, remote or local. I can even create alias for groups of website so that I can do stuff in bulk. Just don't overdo it. And if I don't remember what aliases I have, or do I have it for this client, I could just go wp-cli alias. Now, this is wp-cli because alias is part of configuration of CLI. It has nothing to do with WordPress websites that you have. So wp-cli alias list. And here I have at all. This one is created automatically when you create one custom alias. And here I have client, and you see SSH info that I have just used. So this computer and that server are connected through SSH keys, and this is then possible very easily. So what you do is you say WP alias name, and then you just use it like you would use it without alias. So while I'm there, I can just say core version just to see where we are, because this is old client. And oh my God, it's 5.2 and current version is 5.8. So let's pretend I just did all the export and backup, and I'm just gonna update from here. So you don't even have to go to dashboard, but I suggest you do go there and check if everything is still okay after update. So now we can check what is that login URL. And I'm going to use a command for executing arbitrary PHP code, which I use very often, by the way. And I happen to know what is WordPress function for login URL. It's wp login URL. And I'm going to just add a nice new line so that it prints nicely. Here is our login URL. And this is my imaginary client website. So this could take a lot of time, but it actually just was like few seconds. And I just love it how you can solve some problems really fast. And now we are going to talk about security. So I'm going to show you some local site. So this is fresh WordPress install from like 20 minutes ago. And here I have one user. It's admin, and this admin is administrator. So let's see what this admin can do. Now you see this command wp-admin, it will open a dashboard, and we didn't use it before because it doesn't work with alias, unfortunately, but it works perfectly for local websites. So you see this admin has all the access, everything, pages and themes and widgets and even theme editor, plugin edit. So this means editing code from dashboard. Then we have users and tools and settings, everything. And when you install WordPress, by default, there is one post published, Hello World. And depending on the theme, you will see the author of this theme, of this post. And we have only one user, which is admin, and it has complete access, and their username is visible on public. Now, WordPress websites get hacked very often. That is not a secret. And there was even a time when WordPress websites were like this huge security hole on the server. This is not the situation anymore, but we still have this weak link. We still have the user having complete access and having light and jolly passwords. And however attempting the idea is, one cannot eliminate the user. So we have to work with them or around them. And I'm going to try to work around them now. So I'm going to create another user. And let's see what we can do with users. There's quite a lot. So we can add capability. We can add role, check password, create, delete, generate. Now, generate is a great stuff for developers. Also, we can remove capability or role, reset password. We can spam or unspam. And with update, you can change password for the user without them even knowing. So, if you want to have some fun, you can do that too. And now I'm going to say create. Now, to create user in WordPress, there are parameters. Some are mandatory, some are optional. I don't know which one. Well, I know I learned for this talk, but I don't want to know. I don't want to care about those parameters, and I don't have to because there's prompt. Not prompt. And prompt is going to prompt me with every parameter there is. So I'm going to say username will be author and user email going to be author wp-cli.lock. And now you see the difference between these brackets. Role is in square bracket because it's optional. So only two parameters are mandatory for creating user. Default role is subscriber, but I want author. I want this user to be able to be author for the post, but not to have a lot of access. And this should be very strong password, but I have to log in with this user in a minute, so bear with me. Just let's pretend it's a very strong password. All of this other stuff I don't care about, and I don't have to care. So, okay, now we have two users. One is admin, one is author, and I'm going to demote this admin. So I'm not going to remove this user, I'm just going to demote them. I'm going to say WP user remove role. And now the parameter is which user. So I can use ID or username or email. It happens to be that ID is the simplest one. So now this user has no role. What that means is when you have no role, WordPress doesn't know what to do with you. So it gives you no access at all. Subscriber has more access than this user. So I suggest, this will not save you from hacking, far from it, but I suggest leaving this first user to be admin, to remove the role and just keep the password strong, because you want to keep your hackers amused. You don't want to disappoint there. And now let's see what we have with the author. Author has far less access here, so they have no idea there are categories and tags. They never heard about pages or themes, plugin settings, nothing. So you see we have two users. One has very limited access, the other has no access at all. And in Wpcli, I can say plugin install and activate. And let's say simple history. Now this little plugin will give you the list of all the things that happen in WordPress install, and it would show you this list in dashboard if you have anyone who can see it. We don't have anyone who has enough access to see that. While still I can do WP simple history here and list. So this plugin author was very smart. They created custom Wp-cli command, and they kept consistency with lists. So here I can see what was happening in my WordPress install. And how about that for security, for moving complete administration on SSH level? No one can install anything, and to me it's cool. But if this author was my client, they would want more access, and they should have. So let's give them a little bit of more access. So the default WordPress roles are not really my cup of tea. So one is just too little, like author, but the next one, editor, is just way too much, and I don't want to give them that much access. Luckily, we have capabilities, which is just a little bit of access here and there, bits of permissions, and you can really fine tune and you can personalize for every user what they can do and see. So I'm going to say WP user, add capability. Now again, I have parameter which user. I can say 2 because I know its ID is 2. And first, someone who can create posts should be able to manage taxonomies. So this is manage categories. And now they have categories and tags. Also, I think that someone who owns the website should be able to switch themes. So not to install new ones, just to switch between existing ones. And I would say the same for plugins. Plugins. Now, when something is wrong with your website, the first thing that you would get as advice from support would be to switch to some of default themes, and also to turn off all plugins, to deactivate them, and then activate them one by one and see where is the problem. So this user now can do that, but they cannot add new plugins. There is no add new here, and there is no add new for themes. So they cannot introduce some random PHP code they found online and it was called cool, something very popular. They cannot do that before a developer reviews that. And I think that's pretty fair to developer and website owner. Also, themes and some plugins are hiding some of the settings that are concerned of how the website looks behind Edit Theme Options. And with this one, you will see here, now they have access to Customizer, where they can set a logo and site name and many other things, then widgets, menus, background, but there is no theme editor. There will be no editing of code in this dashboard. And there are many more capabilities that I would give to my client. You can find them all here. WordPress.org support, article, roles, and capabilities. But this was just to give you an idea what is possible to be done so that website owners really have enough access to own the website, but not enough to break it. And I think that's our responsibility as developers to find that line for every client. And now, let's move on to development. So the first thing that I would say it's very helpful for a developer is a command generate. So as I said, many entities have a list command and add and remove. So some of them have generate command. And with this command, you can generate dummy content. So when you create new website, or you start working on new project, you need some dummy content. And before Wpcli, I was having another post, yet another post, another new post. And it was really stupid, just wasting time, and they didn't do what I needed them to do to have like rich content and everything. But with Wpcli, you can generate posts and users, menus, widgets, comments. So you can really create useful content, and you can push it to one level up, and you can create a bash script which you will run when you install WordPress, and you can just sit back and laugh out loud because you're not doing it manually. And that's for doing boring jobs. Now, for doing interesting jobs, I promised scaffold commands. So let's see what we can scaffold with Wpcli. We can scaffold block, child theme, plugin tests, post type, taxonomy, theme tests, and underscores. And there is another one that doesn't come with the default install. So it is command that you have to download. It's a package one, and with that one you can create custom Wpcli command. So this is what we can do. The underscores is a standalone theme, which is considered now to be out of date because, and this is what we would call today a classic theme. So in WordPress, we have block editor now, Gutenberg, and we, in 5.8, part of full site editing is in core. And with next version 5.9, we will have complete full site editing. So the complete WordPress website would be block based, and you could be editing it with blocks and create your own templates from the dashboard. And to be able to do that, you would need a block-based theme. So underscores is classic theme. It's really not up to date, but it can be used here for just learning some basics of WordPress. And what we are going to do now, we are going to Scaffold Plugin. So WP Scaffold Plugin. And again, I'm just going to use prompt because it's so easy. The slug will be PHP Benelux. Directory name, if I want it to be different from slug, I don't want. The title is PHP Benelux. Description, PHP user group created this plugin Yuri. Skip tests, no. Continuous integration provider by default is Travis for WordPress projects, but you can define here a different one. Activate, yes. I don't have network here. I have just a single WordPress install, so I don't care about this. Force is if I have a plugin with the same slug or directory name. I don't have, so I don't really care about that. And now let's go and see what's in there. Content, plugins, PHP. So what we have here is bin. There are some useful scripts that you can run. So grunt file is a bit outdated for the WordPress project. So before Gutenberg, we were using grunt as a official task runner for WordPress projects. But with Gutenberg, we have Webpack coming in and spreading around the project. So grunt file will probably at some point be replaced. Still, it's very useful. It has a task to create a pod file with all strings from your plugin ready to be translated. So it is helpful. You can take a look at it. Then you can just write tests if that's your thing. There is README. So I'm going to show you README. This is not just empty txt file. This is a template that is used for plugins hosted at wordpress.org. So what you need to do is you only have to put there what is unique to your plugin and everything is ready. You don't have to search how to create this. No, I don't want. How to create this README file. And now we are going to create this plugin, make it do something. PHP. This is the main comment that is used also for displaying info in dashboard. And I'm gonna start my function here. PHP Benelux, the title. And I'm gonna pass title, return, always escape, and make translation ready your strings. By the way, have you noticed the spaces between brackets? That's WordPress coding standard. So this is my string and this is my text domain, and I'm going to append the title. It's a very small function. I'm going to hook it to a filter called the title. And my callback is PHP Benelux, the title. I hope I typed everything correctly, but even if I'm not, it doesn't matter, we will debug it. So let's see this plugin. It's there. And what it does, it doesn't really do much. It just add a PHP Benelux before the title. That's all. So this plugin, as you saw, was created in less than 3 minutes in terminal during live talk, and it would pass the code review at wordpress.org. Not because I'm such a great developer, but because it has everything that is good practice. It's following best practices and WordPress coding standards. And all I had to do is just run one command and then add my code and try to keep up with the standard. And that's it. So it's really helpful if you're making plugins. Do help yourself. It's there in your terminal. Don't reinvent the wheel. And now we're going to break it. So there's not much code here, but I'm going to do a little nightmare here. Okay. Wow. And it says there has been critical error on this website, and it's not very helpful. However, if this was live website, I don't want to show my errors. But the workflow here would be to download everything where I have errors visible and then debug it. Well, first try to reproduce it, then debug it, then fix it, then put it back, and it just takes too long. With wp-cli, when there is something wrong, you will get error just running the command, and you can run any command really. It will show you the error on at the end, and you can use debug just to see what's happening during the loading. So you see everything here is displayed, and here is our error from the website, which we can do nothing with. But this is the real PHP error, and I see this is unexpected and something else is expected, and I see what file it is on line 18. So I can go back and say line 18, and yeah, this is unexpected and this was expected. So I'll go out and it's fixed. Now, in real life, you will probably not fix it this fast, but in real life, you will be able to see what is the error, what is the problem this fast, and you will see it's a plugin. You can just deactivate it and let the site live while you debug it in your local and test it and do it properly and then put it back on website. So that's really, really helpful, and the workflow is so much faster. And now I'm going to show you a little magic. So let me get out of here. I'll take you to my magic folder, which is empty completely. And I'm going to run wp install. The base name is magic and user is root. And site title is magic. The site is very magic. It's not. Admin and email. And you know which password. And yeah, do I want to release the Kraken? Well, yeah, I do. Hi, Kraken. And this is our newly installed website, our magic website. So here you see we have installed WordPress. And of course, I ran a custom bash script. I'm going to show you now what's in that script. So it's very simple. Actually, it uses only 4 wp-cli commands. So first we download WordPress, then we have to create a config file, and for that we need some database credentials, which I collected before with just really basic bash scripting. And after that we install WordPress. Again, there are a number of parameters that I don't want to remember. I don't want to even type them. I don't want to even copy paste them. I don't want to have anything to do with that. And after that, well, this is a little fun. And this is the actual script that I'm using for work. So when I don't install WordPress for a while, this is something that surprises me and gives me a smile. So if I want to release the Kraken, I get a cow greeting me, and I get a dashboard open. If I don't want to release them, I have a wonderful day. And this is, as I said, simple. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. You can add there if you're always using the same set of plugins or some specific settings or language, or you have your own theme that you're using. You can put all of that there, and you can put even creating that dummy content and whatever you want, and you can just watch how it happens and have fun with Kraken and cows and everything that you should be doing more than once. I think that should be automated. So I hope that you saw few ideas. This is not everything. Wpcli can do so many more things, but I hope that I have intrigued you to see what else you can do and how you can really make your development and administration more faster and more secure and more fun. Because if doing things in terminal isn't fun, I don't know what is. So I had a lot of fun, and my name is Milana Tap. I am freelance developer at TopTal. I'm also one of representatives for WordPress documentation team. So if you have any questions or you want to help, we always can use some help. You can find me on these places. The Slack is the official WordPress one. I can be found on other Slacks under Milana username. And thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions or you want some other themes to be to see some other things you can do with Wpcli, I'll be happy. If you call me, I'll be happy to come. Let me just find. And how do I stop?
I can just switch.
Oh, and sharing. Okay.
Yeah. And then you press the camera and it's gone. Okay. I don't see any questions in chat, so it looks like it was all clear. Yeah, I've been taking notes and tweeting live as you were going through
good.
it. I mean, it's mind blowing, and you definitely got me very excited to try out some more. And I probably will stumble against a whole bunch of challenges, but comes with the territory, right?
Yeah. And there are examples you can find that are very helpful in documentation. So and you can always come to WordPress Slack and ask people. They're very helpful.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well.
Thank you.
It's not a question.
Yeah.
But
I get that a lot. Like I'm not into WordPress, but I would try it, or it's good to see that things are happening.
Yeah. What I really enjoyed was really the last piece of the Kraken thing. I don't see that enough. That if condition is true, you be nice, and if condition is false, then people have like this weird error messages or something.
Yeah.
What I really enjoyed was that okie dokie, have a nice day. That was brilliant. That was the icing on the cake.
Oh, you should see my code comments. Like it's full of those things. I like to do those things. Yeah.
Well, it's the approach to Marikonda is always spreading around. Sparkle joy in life and in your work. People need to do this more often. I am totally for it. So if there are no further questions, big fonts, yes, awesome. If there are no further questions, I think I need to get started with the raffle. I will make you an attendee at this point, so you can participate. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having
me. Feel free to join the session afterwards, where we can have like interactive chats.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Make attendee. Okay, this is me. I don't want to see myself. I want to see the presentation. Okay. So first of all, we have a open discussion session right after the announcements. So feel free to join us. Everyone has a voice and can share their screens or the webcams. So it's going to be very interactive. Lots of fun. But everyone is waiting for the big thing called Raffle Time. Let me see if I have all the attendees listed. Yes, we're not with that many, so chances have increased quite a lot. So I will need to share my screen here. Okay. I will start clicking the wheel, and since I'm all alone, I need to take some notes on who won. So please be patient. But with no further ado, the first raffle will be the pink and blue elephants. So let's start with the pink one. And I'm just taking notes here. And okay, the first one will be Jos Elsgeest. Okay, let me take also a screenshot so I know exactly that you won. Next one will be the blue elephant. Goes to Axel. Congratulations. Now we have the Kung Fu elephant from Kung Fu with PHP 8. And goes to Isabel. Screenshot. Yes. And the last but not least is the elephant of PHP days in Italy with the Italian colors. And that one goes to Jesse. Okay. I have one more raffle to give. Let me go back to my presentation. So we have this one, testing Laravel. It's a coupon for the whole training course on mastering PHP unit and pest on testinglaravel.com. Generally, is sponsored by Spassy. So, who will win this? Milana. Okay. What I will do is I will have all your email addresses in at the registration of Click Meeting. I will send you a message with a link so you can provide your shipping addresses. we keep those addresses for just as long as we need to deliver the raffles to you. In case of coupons, it will be just an email, and then we remove your details. If you have questions about what kind of information we have about you, actually nothing, because every time we delete all the information and we start fresh. So with that, I would say we had our raffle, the elephants. So it's time for the open discussion session, I think. Oh, yeah. One more thing. You probably noticed we actually had not enough speakers this month. Could be possibly due of the holidays, or it could be because everyone is so busy. But if you're interested in speaking, feel free to reach out to us. If you haven't spoken before and you are really interested in becoming a speaker, feel free to reach out to us. We can guide you, coach you, and be a mentor to you while you're progressing into becoming a speaker. And you can have a platform with us to start off, and maybe have other user groups and events also invite you. So let us know if you're interested. Everyone can start speaking. You don't have to be perfectly English native in order to speak about this, but yeah, give it a try. Maybe you'll like it. Send us a mail to meetup@phpbenelux.eu, and hopefully we will invite you to speak next month. So with that said, thank you. Until next time. It's every second Thursday of the month. So have fun. And now I will open the breakout rooms